The primary aspects of a synthetic turf field are safety. Natural turf and synthetic turf fields are safe with proper maintenance. However, synthetic turf has a consistent surface in all weather conditions. You have playability. Synthetic turf offers greater playability over natural turf. Drought and wet conditions have minimal impact on synthetic turf sports fields.
In the spring, when soccer takes in for the middle school, it's typically the time that the high school's fields are being reseeded or resodded, and that's usually their maintenance time. Having the field turf on there will allow us not to miss that the window of play time for our soccer programs. Because the field wouldn't need to be sodded or reseeded or maintenance on it. It would be ready to go when the season came around. Also, the maintenance costs, I believe, would be a lot lower not having to spend money on reseeding and the maintenance of the field if you had the field turf.
Maintenance. Natural turf sports fields require significantly more maintenance attention than synthetic turf sports fields. Versatility. The durability of the synthetic turf sports fields allows a single field to be used for multiple sports such as football, soccer, lacrosse, rugby, ultimate frisbee, and others. In addition, the fields can be used by JROTC, dance, cheer, school events, off-season sports, and community youth programs. Fields can be used daily without any downtime.
The way that I could envision us using it is we practice on our parking lot in the afternoons, and a lot of times we are delayed because we have cars on the parking lot. Also, in October, that's our competitive season. We have about 3 to 4 contests a month. They're on Saturdays, and oftentimes our school is rented out for community swim events or some type of district events to where our parking lot gets full. So I can see that having that turf field, if we schedule it, we might be able to get on that field, and it would be a more realistic environment for competition. It wouldn't have all the cheaters that we have on our practice field, and it would really make the kids utilize all the skills that we're trying to grow in them as we rehearse. I can also see that as we get later in the month of October and we're out on our parking lot, we lose a lot of daylight. So it would be pretty advantageous for us to schedule time on that field so we could get under those lights.
A way that I would use the field for my dance team is it's a great way for them to practice exactly how they're going to perform. So at Turner Stadium, there is turf and there are exact yard lines. And on drill team, every girl has to have a specific yard line that they stand on. Well, here in this dance room, if you can see behind me, I have yard lines that only go to the 38 on each side. When you have 50 girls on the field, that's not going to accommodate all the way across, and spacing isn't going to be correct. So that's going to help them get their exact spacing for their Friday night football performances, which for a teenage girl, that's very important to them.
Aesthetics, synthetic sports fields look nice year-round. And then cost. Synthetic turf sports fields have a greater initial cost than natural turf, but the synthetic turf is less expensive over the life of the field. Natural turf fields have a great playing surface when maintained and have low use. However, maintenance is costly and limits access to the field. Natural turf requires aeration and top dressing, fertilization, irrigation, mowing, weed control, overseeding, dethatching, just to name a few. Many high school organizations can benefit from access to a synthetic turf field and authenticity to competition environments. The community and middle schools can also greatly benefit from a synthetic turf field. In the past, we've had to cancel some middle school events here on our game fields because of being too wet or saturated. With a synthetic turf field, we won't have to cancel events, and the kids will be allowed to compete year-round.
I think the big key, when it comes to the turf on the high school fields and the year-round use, I think that's one of the biggest advantages that we're going to see. We have so many opportunities within the confines of our community, outside organizations. In the past, with grass fields, we're not able to work with community members and organizations to use those fields, and so now with the turf on the fields, it's going to open up that opportunity. one of the great benefits with having the turf fields on the high schools is that we work very closely with our elementaries and middle schools and our feeder patterns, and lots of times they have events that they need to have scheduled, and we haven't been able to do that in the past. And so with the turf fields, we'll be able to accommodate those needs and requests from our elementaries and middle schools.